Marmite.
So I have a photograph of my family wearing silly hats, which kind of sums the girls up.
My little crystal guardian angel. I look at crystals and things quite a lot. Smells are important to me. So along with this crystal, I think what's important to me is the smell of lavender.
I was a landscape gardener for 20-something years. So I love the outdoors.
I don't know if people can see, it's a bit old really, but it's a photo book with me and my kids. So I'm a single parent and I have 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy.
It's a photograph of my dad, which I've got, there you go, you can see it nicely now. This is the last photograph that was ever taken of him. It's not a particularly well-posed photograph, but because it's the last one, it means a lot. He died not long after that photograph was taken.
My grandfather was a miner and he started working in the mines when he was 13 years old. And this was his lamp that he actually used. I think I don't know what it was run off, paraffin maybe. But I'm not living in Wales anymore, but you can take the girl out of Wales, but you can't take Wales out of the girl. And my Welsh roots are so important to me.
So I've brought this. This was actually a present from somebody. I do actually have a little flag thing there sometimes on my desk. So it's actually a kind of, I don't know, a glass mirror made little rickshaw that somebody, a colleague actually brought from Pakistan, actually quite a few years back, and I've always kept it quite like that. This really, for me, is about heritage. Even though I'm Yorkshire born and bred, my parents came from Kashmir, Pakistani side of Kashmir.
Originally, I'm from Mumbai, but my ancestors are from south of India. So I have a mix of, a pot of mix I am. So I have my coffee, which comes from south. And this is the coffee I get from Mumbai. And this is a filter coffee, like I can't do without it. And when this finish, I panic, So I always call for extra, and my sister sends it to me from Mumbai.
I have eaten Marmite since pretty much the day I was born. I love this stuff. I'll have it on toast, biscuits. I'll just stick my finger in it and lick it. It is the best thing since sliced bread, for me, personally.
This is actually a semolina powder. Semolina, we call it in English, and we say upma. So I get this. This is like a breakfast, If I have it, you mix water with it and then oil, and then I put a bit of another sauce I have. It gives that oomph and the taste, like it's not bland. I remember when my mother was there, she used to make it so often. I used to say, why do you make upma so often, So she says, it's tasty. And it is, she didn't say it is easy, but she said it's tasty and it's good for health.
When I have it, it reminds me of mum and dad when I was a really young child, because they would make me toasted fingers, and they just set a jar in front of me, and I would dip the toasted fingers in the jar and eat the Marmite.
Something that reminds me of home, and then sometimes it brings memories, like.
It brings me a lot of memories from my childhood. It reminds me of my granny, which obviously is a nice feeling to have. So every time I smell lavender, I feel really comforted.
I knew one particular aftershave that I always use, right? And the amount of time, especially if I go to my son or something, and my granddaughter, she's 17, she'll walk in, she'll say, Grandpa's been here.
I love the smell of the sea. That reminds me of just amazing holidays with my wife and my kids along at Shell Bay, which is about a half an hour down the road. Yeah, great times.
One of my favourite songs is Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Eva Cassidy. And it just takes me, you know, somewhere over the rainbow, I suppose. Music
has always been my kind of thing. Like, I've been in a few bands over my time, and I have here, you can see that. That's a CD of the band. That CD is about 34 years old, and it includes some of the tracks of the band. And I love listening to that now and again. It puts a smile on my face every time I hear it, because some of the music I just think, wow, again.
I have a recorder, which is something that I absolutely love doing. It's kind of the only thing I have in terms of me time at the moment. I do it once a week with a group of 5 friends. We have a consort, and we play in people's gardens and at charity do's around Salisbury.
And that explains, if you like, my love of colour. I painted that myself. I think of colour being associated with mood because Picasso is known for his blue period. He went through a period where he painted only using the colours, different shades of blue, and it was much to do with the moods that he had at the time.
And the last thing I brought was a notebook and a pen, because I'm a writer. I write constantly. I'm always writing poems and little short stories, and yeah, blog posts and things. So I think that'll always be important to me, just to have somewhere to scribble down ideas.
It's an English translation of the Quran. Like, one of the commandments is about honouring mother and father, and that is also about respecting older people. And so I bring that into my life, that what are the values that we have within faith? So I, as a Muslim, what does that mean? So there's a verse in there, for example, a little small chapter that talks about, for you is your faith and to me is mine, which means that actually we can be equal and different.
I've been to a few groups for people with dementia. It's all things like Vera Lynn, World War II stuff. I'm only 57 years old. I don't want to hear that sort of stuff. I want to hear my generation of stuff, like, and because of that, I've never actually went back. I just thought, again, that's not what I want to hear. You have to get to learn to know the person, know their likes and dislikes. It's as simple as that. And once you do that, everybody's going to be happy.
What's important in terms of whether it's our memory, what's important to me, or what's my favourite things, what connects me, is that whole host of trying to understand the person as a collective, a whole person, and not just one aspect of that person.